EnQuest is a medium-sized energy production company, and owing to the government's windfall tax on energy, it has turned what would have been a considerable profit margin into a loss for the first 6 months of 2023. But EnQuest is not the only one. Harbour Energy is another, the largest London-listed independent oil and gas company. It provides 15% of the UK's oil and gas production. Harbour swung from nearly £1 billion of profits for the first half of this year to an £8 million loss, again because of the windfall tax. Indeed, Harbour, and this is really important, has said it will refuse to drill new oil wells because of the tax. It feels forced to explore other options such as Mexico and Indonesia. Well, why does this matter? First of all, we need to maximise the use of our resources. And these small and medium-sized companies take on oil wells that the majors have decided they're no longer big enough for them. They ensure that we get that last drop of oil out. And when they face an energy windfall tax of 75%, which is likely to remain until 2028, they don't make any money, therefore they won't invest in the UK, they will invest elsewhere. And this makes the cost of living higher. First of all, ultimately, the government gets less tax revenue because less oil is being taken out. Secondly, there's less oil production, which makes prices higher, which keeps energy prices high. But it also has an effect on energy security as we're more dependent on other nations. And this tax affects the smaller and medium-sized energy companies. The tax is a flea bite for the BPs and Shells of this world, and it disincentivises, as I've said, investment at a time when we desperately need investment. We saw last year the problem that arises if you are dependent entirely on foreign sources from insecure countries. Now, I know that oil companies periodically make vast profits, but they've always, for years and years, been taxed at a higher rate than other businesses to recognise this and to recognise that the oil is something they're licensed to take out of the ground that is viewed as a national asset. But if the oil companies have higher costs, these get passed on to consumers. And that's why it's time to scrap the windfall tax. We'd get more oil, cheaper oil, more tax revenue, and a better economy.